The first thing I think about when my alarm goes off every morning is obviously it's like the hardest part of my day is getting up in the morning. But once I get up, everything's just kind of like, I usually hit snooze a couple times, I'm not going to lie. Hit it, you know, I stay there for maybe about another 5 minutes, roll around, but the hardest part is getting up. And then I think to myself, it's just like, I got to get up, you know. I always think to myself, I got to outwork my opponent, and I always think, he ain't doing this. He ain't getting up at 4:20 every morning, you know, and getting out of bed. So I always think of that and put that in my head when I get up.
Isn't what I'd seen. The sky's not blue and the field's not green. I'm gonna ask you to look away. My broken life will never stay. Try too hard and I always lag. Days are gray and the nights are black.
Every morning I get up, I do Big 5, 5 a.m. It's basically, it's a lot of strength and conditioning stuff. It's really intense cardio circuit. There's a lot of explosive lifts along with endurance lifts, and it's a great cardio circuit that my trainer Josh Howard puts together. Every morning it's something different. It's awesome. I mean, it's great stuff.
These workouts are what you make of them. You know, you can come in and dog, or you can make them scary for yourself. And Rod, straight off the bat, we just built a rapport straight off the bat, and thank goodness he trusted me, and his work ethic is what pulled him through the first couple. They were a challenge. And as this is a year and a half in maybe now, that he's got to the point where, like you can see, he's wearing a mask, running at 18,000 feet, and that's unheard of for me. I've never seen people go all 3 rounds and achieve what he's done. I mean, he's just put in so much effort. You know, every single day he can be here, he's here. So sometimes it's 3 days a week, sometimes it's 5, you know, which is above and beyond what a lot of people are doing. Times at night that he starts his day at 5 a.m. and he'll get back from Iowa City after training with John Gouda at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's a huge day after working a full day at his regular paying job to drive an hour one direction at 7, 8 o'clock at night, get done with jiu-jitsu and drive all the way home, and then be back here with me at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's a tenacity that is very rare, and you know, you put that on top of the other skill sets that he has. It's going to be scary.
You know, besides training, I've also been working at Kimberly Car City as a Chrysler mechanic. I've been there for 5 years, going on 5 years. But I mean, I've been a mechanic for about 10, so yeah, I've been there for 5 years at Kimberly Car City. It's a grind for sure, but it's worth it. I mean, it's what I got to do. I can't afford to just fight full time right now. You know, I mean, I couldn't. I mean, I probably could. I did fight full time for about a year, in about 08 to 09. But it just wasn't enough for me, you know. I mean, and I mean, like I said, I love doing this. This is what I went to school for. Before I ever started fighting, I went to trade school at Wyotech in Laramie, and I kind of figured I better do something before I do decide to start fighting and make sure I have something, you know, in the back door just in case. And it actually worked out great because I love doing it, you know, and probably do it for the rest of my life, no matter what.
It'll be a good fight. You know, he's got a top quality opponent, but you know that's Rod. He's been never known to back down for anybody on any level. He'll fight whoever you put in front of him. He puts his time into the gym. You know, it takes a lot to get him not to go to the gym, and I don't know. I can't even remember him not going to the gym. You know, whether he was sick, he had a bad injury a while back, but that kept him out for a while. But even when he had a bad injury, the guy was still at the gym working his upper body or his cardio or, you know, whatever he could do. So yeah, he's determined. I think he's probably in the best shape of his life right now. I think he's got all it takes to pull an upset here. I'm sure he's a big underdog, but you know, knowing his work ethic, knowing his heart, he's improved on his stand-up. He's improved on the ground. He's got a little wrestling background there going. So I think he can win the fight from a lot of different places. Hopefully he does.
You know, I think they're going to see a man in the ring that is going to be no holds barred. He's going to do everything he can to win this fight and show everybody that he deserves what he is fighting for.
After I get off work, I go home, grab my gear, head back here to the gym at MFS, and what we do usually is we warm up, we'll do technique for about 30 minutes, and then we'll do live rounds, 5-minute rounds, whether it's Tuesdays or Thursdays we do jiu-jitsu, grappling, wrestling. Wednesdays and Mondays we do sparring. You know, we'll do 8 5-minute rounds after we do 30 minutes of technique every day. And I mean, by the time we get out of here, it's about 8:30 at night every night. So we go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours every night. So every fight camp, there's always something, you know, like with this one, it was obviously injuries, you know, every once in a while you get hurt and it's hard to continue to train and keep the same mindset and thinking like, am I hurt or am I injured? And in my thoughts, I always try and tell myself there's a big difference between being hurt and being injured. I mean, just the other day, Junior and I were sparring. I think it was last week, it was my hard week. Junior beat the living crap out of me. I mean, just destroyed me. Everything I could, I mean, there was nothing I could do to get him off me, and he kept telling me, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. But it was like, I wanted to quit. I didn't, but it's like, I wanted to so bad because he was just punching me, kicking me, and you name it. And I mean, everybody was that day. That day was one of those days where I'm like, man, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I even, but then I remind myself on the good days, like, I love this stuff. Like, there's a reason why I do this, you know, and but like I said, it's not all roses and butterflies, man. There's so much involved and so many bad days that it's just like, some days it makes it hard to keep that motivation and keep that confidence and keep that, you know, oh, I'm going to do, you know, some days it gets hard to do that stuff.
My favorite part is some days he'll get me and some days I'll get him, you know, and I've known Rod for 8 years. I mean, I first met him in Mexicutioner where I used to live in a little rinky-dink gym Dennis Reed had, and I think, you know, I had heard about him previously before we actually met, and I think he triangled me the very first time I started training, you know, and with him, and now one day I'll get him, and that's the days I feel like I'm better, and then the days he gets me, I like to think it's just because he's a little heavier, you know, all that taco meat. But I mean, mainly it's always a battle, no matter if he's out of shape, in shape, getting ready for a fight, just off a fight, injured, no injury, doesn't matter. He's always a hammer, so it's good to have him around.
You know, I tell Rod where I put my mind before a fight. I share with him, you know, like mantras I tell myself or visualization that I use, things like that. And I also make suggestions with what I think he should do, who he should be training with, what coaches he should be looking for advice from during his training camp. And I think he's done that pretty well. He's taken that pretty seriously. And like I said, the camp's been a very smart camp for him. So I think he's going into this extremely prepared. He was very prepared for his last fight, and I think he's even more so for this one.
Training with those guys, you know, training with Junior and Barb and then now Mickelwright, you know, it's awesome because like those kind of people are the people that push me to get better every single day. And every single day I try to do everything I can to help them get better. And those are the kind of people that like I said, iron sharpens iron. And those are the kind of people that we make each other better every day. You know, I just want people to know that follow your dreams. I mean, I'm just a kid that, you know, a lot of the times you look at my record and you're like, this guy's a chump, you know, but it's like, I've been grinding, I've been working my whole life for this moment right here, and I'm going to continue to do so. And if anything, just remember that if you're willing to pay the price, anything in life is possible. I mean, that's anything you want. If you're willing to pay the price, you can have whatever you want. And that's something that I will forever have in my heart and in my life, that no matter what I want, if I want it bad enough, I will have it. And I want people to know, and I wish I could motivate people to feel the same way. If there's anything in life that they want, if you're willing to do it, you can have it.